if you like to complain and bitch about the fact that
diaries.
if you like to bitch and complain about the fact that you have all these bills and you have your mortgage payment and you're working 80 hours a week, if that's something that you feel brings value to you, then go for it. But that's not what I want for our family.
Right.
I want us to do whatever it is that we want to do whenever we want. I want full and complete independence. Nobody owns us, and we don't own anyone. Therefore, we do whatever we want. If we want to be traveling and going, from campground to campground and meeting people, so be it.
Yep.
So what is our why? Like I said earlier, my very selfish why is I don't want anyone to own us. I want to bring in not money to make us freaking gazillionaires, but money that allows us to do whatever we want, whenever we want, however often we want, and wherever that is. And if I want to be less selfish with my why, I want to hopefully inspire people to know that there are different avenues, there are different options. You don't have to become a prisoner of payments,
Right.
whether it's car payments, house payments, any payments whatsoever. Because right now, the people who have all these payments, everybody owns them.
Yeah.
The bank owns them.
Yeah.
The hydro company owns them. The cable company owns them. The jobs that they work at, that they own them. They can't just break free and go.
Yep.
So
back to almost like our freedom tour.
it goes back to the freedom tour. How do you find freedom? What is your freedom, first of all?
Yeah, because everybody will be a little bit different. Everybody's why will be different. Everybody's so it's almost like building us as a brand, but then promoting almost like the inspirational side of it. So like we were talking about doing speaking engagements or like which would be our end result. So in the meantime, as far as drawing like a roadmap for us as to how we get there, what do we?
I think the roadmap for us is, first of all, stop being selfish in the sense that we keep all this information to ourselves. And start sharing it.
Yeah.
Stuff that we take for granted, the RV lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we've seen it many, many times. Like, people love our story because it's different.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool. And how many people have told us, like, oh, I wish I could do that. Well, you know what? You can't.
Yeah.
Like, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's not rocket science here. We haven't created a new formula of, how to grow plants at a faster speed, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
just, it becomes
journey
a priority.
the journey didn't seem like much at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
For us?
that's where you document the how-to, right? Like maybe take a few steps back and start looking at, when you and I talk about, okay, so we had the Westie, we loved it, we knew that was our happy place. So then it was like, okay, how do we do this full time? And then it was a matter of, okay, get rid of Golfie.
Get rid of the golf, yeah.
Get rid of, because that was the only payment we had. And then it was, sell the condo, and then we didn't rebuy anything.
Yeah.
And then get into, obviously, the rig and the truck with no payments.
So what did we do when we did that? You got rid of the bank who owned you because you had the Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
We got rid of the condo board. We got rid of the bank because we sold our condo. We got rid of all the lawyers because we sold the condo. And we rented after that. So still there, somebody is owning us because we owe rent. Like, there's the chains around our neck are not as tight, and there's no lock on it. It's easy to get out of, but still we owed somebody something. So by getting rid of all those payments, less people own us. And by buying our own rig and buying it in cash and being done with it, again, nobody owns us.
Yeah. And even the steps to do that, though, I mean, we I guess in if you were to do a how-to, right? Yeah, sure, sweetheart, I'll find some.
If you want to do a how-to to find yourself in this position, first, it's all about baby steps. If you go too fast, you're going to get frustrated. It's going to be really hard on you. But if you do baby steps, you've got DirecTV with 300, or no, what am I saying here? You have 900 channels. Is that really necessary? Like, how many channels do you watch at the same time?
Yeah,
Break that down.
So this.
And cable companies will eventually become non-existent because everything's online. You can fully.
Yeah, 1 minute, buddy. Mommy's gonna.
You could completely get rid of your cable bill or your DirecTV and just go with your internet. Pretty much everything's there. You can have live TV for very cheap, or you can have live TV for nothing. So that's one thing you get rid of, and it's just baby steps like that.
True.
You have
It's okay, honey. It's okay, honey.
you have 2 brand new cars. What's your payment on that monthly? Is that $800? $400 each? Plus another $100 each for insurance. That's minimum.
Yeah.
Get rid of both cars. Buy some good, little, decent used cars. One payment done. Yeah, you put yourself back a couple of months.
Pardon?
But how many months do you put yourself back to come back and cover those losses? And people are always crying, well, if I don't have a new car, what if I break down the side of the road? Who cares? What if you do break down the side of the road? Who cares? You're not gonna die there. You're not freaking Siberia here. and if that's such a scare for you,
That's what
then
CAA is for.
that gets CAA.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get CAA, and they'll come, they'll tow you, and they'll bring you wherever you need to go. End of story.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. I'm scared to be stuck on the side of the road. Like,
Well,
come
and
on.
it's even like we were talking with Ryan last night. If you took, let's say your monthly payment, let's use a realistic monthly payment on like a small car. So let's say you're what, $400 a month,
Yeah.
$300 or $400 a month. If you took that $300 or $400 a month and put it in a damn bank account, drove a vehicle that you paid cash for, but then held on to that money, I guarantee you at the end of a year you're going to have way more money in that account than you would ever have in replacement costs or maintenance or whatever, right? Like, well, it's maintenance you're going to do anyway, no matter what. You're going to have to do your oil changes and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as like breakdowns or having to replace, yes, there were some. What would you?
Everyone.
Do you want some raspberries? No, thank you. Do you want a banana? Pardon? No, thank you. Okay, so what is it you're asking me for?
Fruit.
Oh, fruit.
Banana.
No, I think she means like the
So, anyways, what I was about to say is that everyone knows that a car is pretty much the worst investment you could possibly do. You
True.
buy a car brand new, you walk off the lot, you've lost at least 30% of that vehicle.
Yeah.
So if that's the worst investment you're going to do, why do you keep putting money into it? Why do you keep going from new car to new car to new car to new car when you know? So basically, you're admitting that you're throwing money down the drain. You're chucking You're chucking money out the window.
Are you asking me hypothetically, or are you asking?
Blabbering here.
Because truthfully, then we open up a whole can of worms where it's keeping up with the Joneses, right? My neighbor got this new car.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have rust spots on my car because the neighbor's got a nice new shiny car.
Yeah.
You know? And even if that's not important to you, I feel like people have weak moments. Like, I know people friends of ours that like, they know they don't need it.
Yeah.
But then they work really. 1 second, please, Brantley. Just a moment. 1 moment, please, Brantley.
I see a great train crossing.
Oh, a train crossing. Good job, bud. They don't need it. They know that they don't need it. But let's say they go through a phase for 3 months where they're just hauling ass, working super hard. It's like they're depleted, and to make up for something else that might be missing in their lives, it's like, you know what, that car all of a sudden just has a super shine to it, and it's like.
Or you also have the mentality where I work my butt off, therefore I deserve to treat myself once in a while.
Yeah, but that once in a while treat is going to cost you for years.
Go buy yourself an ice cream. Go to the movies. Go for get yourself a hotel room in a nice spa place and pay $300-$400 for that nice, amazing room for that night.
Go rent yourself a killer car for a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, like you and I were talking about, how amazing is it that we live in a time nowadays where everything can be rented.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about having a minimalistic lifestyle, this is kind of a side note, but like,
Mommy, okay, just a little bit?
just a little bit, buddy. Good job.
If you want, go rent yourself a Mercedes for a weekend.
Yeah, if you really, like, how
That's what you
often,
want.
let's say you have a snowmobile, and you...
Mommy, look at freight train.
Guys,
Look at the
come
freight train!
on.
Woo!
Maybe
You
she
can
was
only
sleeping.
use it maybe 6 weekends of a season. Let's just
Yeah.
say, between work and kids
Yeah.
and whatever. You pay insurance on it. You pay for your trail pass. You pay for this. Why not just give yourself 2 weekends of a season
Excuse me, Mom.
and
Rent
go
it.
enjoy an actual snow vacation,
Snow
whatever.
experience.
Yeah, go on a snowmobile excursion
Yeah.
for 2 weekends. Get your fix, and don't have those payments every month.
Yeah.
So same thing. People go to Vegas all the time, and they'll rent a couple of Harleys and take off for
Yep.
a week-long trip or whatever. Like you and I've talked about this because you do have a love for your bike and you miss
Yeah.
it, and it's like, okay, but it doesn't make sense for us to own bikes right now. They're not going to bring anything to the family. But
Not all 4 of us fit on the same bike.
but
so it's
I'd
a little
love
tough.
for you to have a weekend. We're getting to the
Absolutely.
point where you're going to maybe take off for a few days or go join.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the
Scott Schuler.
Scott Schuler. Go see Scott Schuler. Go
Yeah.
ride. Join the boys and ride for a cause, or just something like that. Like if those are things that are important to you, you don't necessarily have to own the bike with the payments,
entire
the
payment.
insurance, and everything else. Just go enjoy yourself and give yourself a little.
But it sounds sexy, right?
Yeah.
I own a Harley.
Yeah, I own a Harley.
Yeah. I own 2 snowmobiles.
Yeah, true.
So I can go snowmobiling with my wife anytime. Really, how many times did you go last winter? Well, 3.
Yeah.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah. Try stuff out. You know what I mean? Like rent something for a little bit. Make sure that you love it. See how much you use it. And then if it's worth the investment, I think we get into these weird lulls in life, or you kind of get down on yourself. Hey, social media can be really bad for that. We talked with Ryan about this.
Yeah.
Like, how do you let it affect your life? Are you surrounding yourself with people that motivate you? When you go through your news feed, do you see people that bring you up, or do you look at your news feed and see a constant surrounding of people that are doing amazing things, and it makes you feel like shit about yourself because you're not doing those things? Or you had one of those days where you stayed home with your kids and did sweet cafe and sat on the couch with a bag of potato chips. We all have those days too. So maybe those days don't scroll through your feed and get down on yourself because you didn't do anything, or you're not going on a nice vacation. March break was crazy for that. Like we had a quiet March break because we don't like crowds, we don't like people.
Yeah.
And I kind of went through a little wonky phase myself where I was like, we're not doing anything amazing with the kids, and usually we have pretty great adventures. But I sat and just saw what everybody else was doing and had to use that as motivation and take notes and generate ideas for great things I want to do with the kids now, because we know ourselves. We know we hate crowds, like going and checking out just wasn't our thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't, why put ourselves there when we would have been angry and miserable and spending a bunch of money that we wouldn't have enjoyed. So
Yeah.
said, get out of the city, go on some hikes, soak up some nature, and then
So we took out to Sault Ste. Marie.
took out to sea. It was awesome. Awesome being able to open the doors and let the kids just. I love that.
Yeah, I love the pond. Not gonna go
We're
in
not
there.
city people. We're struggling a little bit being in the city. It's a tough one. I don't know where this started.
I don't know where it started. We just started rambling.
That's what we do when we're driving.
I think we were talking about our why and how we want to do this and why we want to do this.
Yeah, we just
Let's
listened to
support us.
Gary Vaynerchuk a little bit.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a very interesting guy who went from not a whole lot immigrant family, and he's built himself an incredible empire, all based on social media, but it's all on interaction with people. Because we all know that if you go back into the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, whatsoever, everybody would go locally to their hardware store, their grocery store, and everybody loved it when you walked in and the manager would come see you like, hey, how's it going, Millie? Or, how's it going? How's the kids? How's the family? How's your cow? How's your horse? How's your dog? How's everybody doing? They knew about you. And, they would shake your hand. People appreciate that. That's why they would buy local, because the owner knows them and they know their store, and you always want to encourage local. You want to encourage your friends. You want to spend time with your friends. And then business came along, and it's all about the breakdown of those relationships, because now how many companies do you want to call and talk to someone, and you have to go through their automated system and press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this, and you're just freaking going around in circles. You don't even know where you are anymore. You get into a Louis C.K. bit here. And it's frustrating. You just want to talk to someone. But it's really, really, really hard to do now. But Gary Vaynerchuk's approach is the opposite, whereas you create, again, those one-on-one relationships. It is done through social media. Because you can have customers that are your next door neighbor, but you can also have a customer who's in Nebraska, who's in British Columbia, who's in India. You have customers all over the place. And you can't be one-on-one with every single person face-to-face because, like, geographically it doesn't work. But if you could be one-on-one with all these people via social media, you're still giving that very personalized relationship time and effort, and you're answering questions and you're responding, and you're just, again, creating a relationship. So if you do that non-stop and you forget about the return on investment, you just are genuine and you want to help people and you want to create a good, strong relationship, well, these people will either want to buy more from you because there is no loyalty anywhere else, but if you created this relationship, you've at the same time created a loyalty.
Yeah.
Because you want to buy and encourage from your friends and your family, and they'll talk to other people also. People you will never know, you will never have spoken to, will be contacting you to place an order because they spoke to, Randy, who's out in India, who said, hey, I spoke to this guy, they've got an amazing business, got a good product, give them a shout. Next thing you know, new money comes in from people you didn't even know because you just created a relationship with someone.
But it's funny how he, listening to a lot of these, this came to us at the right time because I was really struggling with, I've always, ever since we started the Oily Travelers, struggled a little bit with social media because part of our lifestyle and part of us doing all of this is to give the kids and ourselves a different lifestyle. Get outside, get out and do hiking, and not so much screen time, right? Like, I think that's every parent's battle right now, right? We don't want to try to get the kids away from the electronics and get out, find that balance, but at the same time, so for me, I don't want to be balancing 3 different social media accounts, and I also don't want to be part of the problem with influencing people through social media where they look at what you're doing and then they feel like shit about themselves. Like, I don't want to be part of, like, posting all these perfect pictures and just...
You don't want to brag.
Yeah, or,
Come off like
we've
that.
always said part of our social media, like just our Facebook page and stuff, even before we were the Oily Travelers, was to share bits of what we're doing with family and close friends.
Yeah.
So everything we had was very private. I had settings set pretty high, and then, when we started the Oily Travelers, I thought, okay, well, what a great way to kind of share some of the stuff that we're doing, which I love still, but I don't want it to come across the wrong way. I don't do it from the heart, and that's where you keep saying to me, go back to our why, go back to our why.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Why would we hope that maybe this might inspire people to think outside the box a little bit or figure out a different lifestyle if theirs is broken and they want some more freedom, or even just the oil business. It's like there's an amazing opportunity there for the right people. I mean, it's not up everybody's alley, but if you are unhappy with your job, there is a sense of financial freedom that you can work anywhere and build this business. It's not a get rich quick. It's again, so this is where the Gary Vee stuff is kind of in line with us because it's building relationships.
It is not for a get rich quick
It's
kind of
doing
thing.
things organically, and it's staying true to your why and what motivates you. Like, our traveling is at the heart of, in the core of who we are. Like, we're gypsy souls. That's just the way we are. We always have been. We love exploring and seeing new things and showing the kids and ourselves.
Because we're already doing that. When we go to a new campground, we always meet people in the campground. Shake hands, say, hey, how's it going? I'm your neighbor. What's the story? What's your story? This is our story. And then you share and you have a beer together. What Gary Vaynerchuk is saying to do is basically the exact same thing, but through social media. Is just creating these relationships and bonds, finding things in common.
Bonds.
Get it. And developing that. And if you don't worry or think about a return on investment of your time and just share in a very genuine fashion, it's gonna come around to you. It will come around if you don't push it and you don't hunt it. Just be honest and clear with people and just create genuine relationships and help. Obviously, if you can help, then good. And if the reason or the tool that you use to help, if they want to know more about it and it becomes a business for you, then good, so be it. And you've got a revenue stream.
Yeah, so when we talk about our why for the oil business, it's got a lot to do with eliminating harmful chemicals out of your home. It also, for us, it's the minimalistic lifestyle where...
What's wrong? What is wrong?
You know, I can buy one bottle of cleaner and clean my entire house. You know, like that kind of stuff. Oils in general, like they're multi-purpose.
Is it time for us to wrap it up? Emerson, have a little nap? Is that what's going on? Yeah. All right. Do you want to wrap this up a little bit, babe?
I don't care. I'm just chatting anyway. What's up, baby? What's up, baby?